Hi, thanks for clicking on my video. I am Beth Ann of Beth Ann Stamps. This week's video is a replay of a Facebook Live presentation I did this week in a private group for Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. I hope you will like this suite as much as I do. Thank you.
Hi there. I hope everybody is doing well. Tonight, I am going to do a presentation on He's the Man Suite, or as I've been calling it, He's All That Bundle. This is in the main catalog on page 78 and 79. And I've liked it since the annual catalog came out, but I just never got around to getting it until just recently. And thank you, Lynn, for that. The papers in here are amazing. And what I didn't realize when I got the bundle of paper is it comes with all these die cuts or ephemeral, however you want to talk about it, that you can use in so many ways. And I've used them in my cards tonight, and we're going to look at those. So a lot of fun with this set. The only thing that I added, so I had the paper and the rustic metallic gems, the stamps and the dies. I love these argyle looking dies. But the one thing I brought in to use with it was this faux suede early espresso ribbon that I think goes with this suite very well. So let's take a look. We're going to make a couple cards. This is the first one. I just love all of the different papers and really wanted to show those off. So I started with a standard card base, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at that 4 1/4. I've already stamped the inside of my card with one of the circles together for the long haul. And I went ahead and I colored in, I'm calling it the VW Microbus, because we're going to also use one of those on the front. And we're going to start with a couple pieces of paper. I have the standard that's the 5 1/4 by 4 that would be on the inside. And we're going to hold on to that one. This other one I have is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. So this is the one we're going to start with. And then I have a bunch of strips of paper. Now, I went ahead and cut all mine the same size. You can do them any size you would like. But this is a good scrap buster, let me say it that way. So these are all cut 1 1/4 inches. So I'm going to start, and I think I'm going to start with this one. And I'm really just going to lay these down sort of randomly. So let's see, we'll just do like I did before, and I'll just put this in the middle here. So that becomes my first one. And then I want to do some off to the side here. And I'm going to leave a little bit of white showing through. So there we go. Now, as these dry, we're going to take our scissors and trim this off right along that edge. Let me get this one, because I also want to use the back sides of these papers so I get a true, so let me do this one over here now. And really, this is just laying these out in a random order. I think I'm going to do the cards right there. I do a couple of them while that is drying. There we go. By the time I put that second one on, this one should be dry. Just trim that off. And then I'll do the same on this one. So I know as we make a lot of other cards, you end up with some scraps. So that's what I feel this one is that scrap buster. All right, so I'll put this one here, plaid. These papers are so nice. They have great texture, great color. And so I don't know how many of you own this set, but you could use these papers and match it with sentiments from other sets and do them in Christmas, Father's Day, birthday. Possibilities are endless. Now, for this one that we're doing this evening, I only used the sentiments that were in this set. I didn't combine it with any others. Lifting up those corners there. There we go. All right. I'm going to take this one and put it here. Should have let this dry a little more, but I'm cutting it off early. Okay. And then, let's see, we have the Argyle. Let's put that here. Here we go. All right. This one. We haven't used this one yet. So put that here. And then I think I just need something small on this corner. And I want to find that green again. So I'm just going to square this off. I mean, that's going to be the tiniest little piece. Okay. Well, that didn't stick, did it? All right, let's try this again. Just too heavy. And then I need a little one over here. I want to fill in all those edges. Let's try it this way. It's so small, it doesn't want to stick there. Let's see. Okay, let that dry. I think we're okay now. Now the reason I have the two different pieces of white is I wanted to cut this down to fit this smaller one, but because we have these white showing between, I also wanted that white to show around the edges so it framed it. So that's the reason I did it on this smaller piece of basic white. And now we'll attach it here and we'll get that frame all the way around it. We'll move those out of the way. And then I did want a piece of the faux suede ribbon. So I used my Stampin' Seal if there's any in here. There we go. And I stick that to there. That around, and then that'll stick. Come on. I guess I can't use scissors tonight. Okay, so that looks pretty centered to me. Then I will just glue this down to my card front. Great way to use up those scraps. Now, for the center of this, I stamped the Hello Handsome and then die cut this out with one of the matching dies. And the thing about this one is if you get the mustache straight, you're okay because the words are always crooked. So I'm going to put this up with dimensionals. And all my stamping was either done with everything tonight with either Cajun Craze or Early Espresso. Let's see if I can. They don't want to pop off. Okay. They work until you're doing a live or a video, and then they just don't want to work. All right, so I'm going to pop this up in the middle. And then this is one of those out of that paper that I was showing you that comes with all those die cuts. And I still have a lot left. And I'm going to put dimensionals around the part that is not overlapping. I'm just going to put a little glue here in the corner where it's going to overlap my sentiment. And then we're going to put some dimensionals in the other places. This is a thin die cut, so I want to add a few extra dimensionals there to keep it from collapsing. Come on, there we go. All right, hello, handsome, together for the long haul. Here we go. So that's the first card that I'm going to do. I should say that's really the only card I'm going to do tonight. The next thing I'm going to show you is a 3D. Make these little book boxes. I guess they could look like a matchbook. This one I did learned a lesson. My magnet went a little crooked. But these little die cuts, again, are so cute for these. This one says, "You make me hoppy. Holy smokes, you're amazing." And it has some nuggets inside. And then this one, to the man who does everything. And then the other die cuts fit perfectly down inside here. So you get another extra little piece. So let's go ahead and make one of these little boxes. So I have a lot of pieces here, as you'll see. So the first one we're going to start with, this is the inside of the box. It's going to make where the candy is going to set. So this piece is 3 7/8 by 4 5/8, and we're going to score it at 5/8 and 1 1/4 inch on each side. So I'm going to put it in here. So we're going to do 5/8 and 1 1/4. And then I'm going to turn it 5/8, 1 1/4, 5/8, 1 1/4, 5/8, and 1 1/4. This is probably the hardest part of this box, but it's just forming this little box. So it's not too difficult. So we're just going to burnish on each one of these lines. So the reason for the double lines is this sort of becomes a double wall box. So you're going to fold it in and in. The problem comes in is there's too much stuff in the corners here. So we want to take those out. The first thing I'm going to do is where the double squares are here on the very end. I don't need either of those, so I'm going to trim those out on all 4 corners. Okay, I'm going to start with that. And one more here. Okay, now the next one is, I also don't need these next little squares here that are in the front. So I'm going to get rid of those. So you're really taking out 3 squares sort of in a little L there. Like a block that Tetris has to fill in, for those of us that remember Tetris. Okay, so that's what it looks like now. The other thing that we have to do is we have to come in here. This is going to be our little tab that has to fold up. So we're just going to all right, so those are our tabs that are going to fold in. But one of the things that I've noticed that makes it easier when you're making a box or folding is if you sort of take a little extra out of here. You cut that diagonal on these flaps. When you do that and you just take that extra little sliver off of all your tabs that are folding in, it really helps when folding those boxes. So I'm just going to do that on every one of these ones on the edges. Hopefully that makes sense. And then these last 2 sides. Okay, so there we go. Everything is trimmed up. Got a piece here. So I'm going to bring in my glue. And the first thing I want to do is I'm going to do one side at a time. I'm going to take that and line it up. And I'm using glue because it lets me manipulate it a little more. So I folded that in. Now I'm going to take this side. Glue gives me a little more wiggle room, and our glue dries so quickly. You just hold it there for a second. I see a little piece sticking out here. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Line that up, just hold it for a second. And then get some glue on that one. And then I'm going to fold these back, and then I'm going to put it on the inside of my 2 short ends first. I'm going to push that in, and then I'm just going to take my bone folder and put some pressure on there to hold that in. That will cover those flaps. Didn't hold it long enough. I really enjoyed working with this set. I'd love to know if others have this set and if you've done a lot with it. All right, so there's our little box. Now we have, this is going to be the outside. I use soft succulent on the inside. So the outside of my box, this piece is cut 3 5/8 by 2 1/4. So I'm going to bring back in our square board, and I'm going to lay this down with the 3 5/8 along the top, and I'm going to come in 1.5 inches from each side. So I'm going to do, first I'm going to flip it all the way around and do 1.5 from that side. And while we're here, I have the band that's going to close our box. This is 3 by 1 inches. Again, on that 3-inch side, my first score is going to be at 7/8, and the other one is going to be at 1.5. Okay. Remove the scoreboard. So again, I'm going to burnish these. And then the same with this one. All right, so this is where our box is going to live, right here in the middle. So the first thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to put this on the back where that's going to come around. So I'm going to put some glue here. I apologize. I have the sniffles. I think I may be coming down with a cold. All right, so I just eyeball that and center it. So that's where we're at there. And then I am going to go ahead and put this box. It's going to give my little book some stability as I do the rest of the book. I have found that glue works for all of this. All right, so I'm going to line it up, centered from left to right, and then right up against that score line. I want to make sure my box will, oh, a little too close. There we go. So that'll have some time to sit there. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I wanted to use magnets to close these. I have these little tiny magnets that come in a positive and a negative. They're just small. I found them on Amazon. Like, you can find so many things. So they come in the negative and positive. So I have put them together here. I'm going to peel the back off of this one. And I'm going to put it in the center of this piece on the front. And then I want to peel off the back. Now, you could use Velcro or whatever. My thought was I could use these magnets, and then when I'm done with them, I could probably take those magnets out and reuse them. So closing it, now what I need to do is make sure when I open this that the magnet stays here. And I want it far enough away that I can get paper around there, because I want to enclose it with paper. So what we have to decorate the outside of our box with is I had 2 pieces of DSP cut 1 3/8 by 2 1/8, and then I took a piece of soft succulent, same size, and I stamped "To the Man Who Does Everything" because it fits perfectly on there. This one is going to go on the inside of my book. So that fits right there. Right. On the back of the book, I'm going to use, I really like this soft sweet green, so I'm going to put one of these on the back, cover up that band. There we go. And I'm going to put one of these on the front. Now I'm going to use my, let's see if I can, oh, got it too high. Let's try that again. I'm on the front here, and I want to, we know these little batteries can be dangerous for kids. So I do want to make sure that I have it inside and the glue around it so it stays covered. All right. Now, I also cut a tiny piece, a 1/2 inch by 2 1/8. My books have to have a binding on them. So I'm going to put the reverse side of the DSP here. I just think these are so cute. Look at that. All lined up on a little shelf, little snack. Now, I want to do the same thing here. So what I did is I brought in one of our old punches. It's retired, but I think we all have a lot of old punches around. This is 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to use the brown side. I'm going to put that on here. And then again, I really want it to cover that magnet. So I actually bring back in from the scoring tool, Simply scoring tool. And that has glue all around it. And I push that down. I really just want that to stay covered. And it'll still clasp. And then on the front, I thought, well, it needs something else. So I just took that number 1 stamp out of this set. Again, I stamped it on this soft succulent, and I'm using that same 3/4 inch punch. You could cut it out with scissors. I guess I had it on 2 sides. There we go. I am just going to put this. Here's my front. Make sure I put it the right way. Here we go. I got it the right way up. And then we have, and we could take, again, I think I'm going to do this one this time. I'm going to do the Holy Smokes, You're the Best. I love how these just fit right inside. So we have that one. And then we'll put our little nuggets in here. That would even be nice attached to a Christmas gift. You could use Christmas paper. All right, so that's what I wanted to actually make while we were doing this live together. So we have the books, and we have this card. And then let me bring some other cards in and show you. I always love this card that you get sort of the 2 for 1. So those are the triangle cards. So in this case, happy birthday to a classic. Again, using that beautiful DSP. I did some of the Argyle and brought it in, and also used the little banner tags here. And then on the inside, this one I used to the man who does everything. And I also pulled in, this is out of those die cuts again. And then on this one, same on the outside, Rustic Gems. Cheers to all your years for a birthday card. So I really like those. You know what? I didn't put any gems on this one. Let me do that while we're here, before I forget. I love these Rustic Gems. Let's do a couple of these. Oh, it didn't stick. Take another one down here. And I also like them on these boxes. I'll just do a couple little ones. All right, so we have those cards, and then I wanted a, I think some people call these a book fold. So this is the 4 1/4 by 11, and then it's scored at that 4 1/4 and then 1 inch in. And then I stamped the wishing you a happy Father's Day and cut it with the matching die cut here. And then this is, because I was doing Cajun Craze, I stamped the little photo corner and cut that out. The ones in here were brown that come in that die cut sheet, but I wanted Cajun Craze to match the arrow. And then on the inside, I stamped #1 Best Dad Around, and again stamped this corner in Cajun Craze and cut it out because they're so simple. And that's one of those die cuts. It works great. And then a very, very simple card. Again, just relying on everything in that kit. So this is Soft Succulent, and it's the 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 scored at 4 1/4. And I did a early espresso cardstock, and then just use this paper because it's so beautiful. Again, this is a die cut, so I didn't have to stamp anything. Hope your day is a grand adventure. And then happy birthday to a classic, and then brought that same inside for some continuity between the front. So I just love how easy this set is to work with. And then the last thing I wanted to show you was I made a scrapbook page. Let me move some of this stuff out of here. And this one is for my husband. Your classic. With you, I'm never lost. Looking sharp. And so this is when we got our truck. And then here I had to put this one, Holy Smokes, You're the Best, because we love to go camping, but one of the worst things, trouble that we had was building a fire. It didn't think it was that complicated, but it can be. So he got his fire and he's like, yes. So I may just stick this little hooray here. But I just think it's great for a masculine scrapbook page. I still have to do some journaling on it. So those are my items that I wanted to share with you. I hope that you like them and they inspire you. If you don't have this set, consider getting that. Again, everything I used was from the set. The only thing I really added was this Early Espresso Faux Suede. So we have our little boxes and the cards. So thank you for spending some time with me this evening. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.